Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today, and we're starting here with just a PSA letting you know that over 200 PS5 games now support 120 FPS. Players who often lament the lack of true current-gen games will be pleased to note that 200 plus and counting PS5 games now support 120 frames per second. PlayStation Store tags and categories are not particularly helpful when it comes to sorting these games, so some fans have taken it upon themselves to compile a list based on the available information. And yes, this list that's available on Reddit, not only does it contain all the games with 120 FPS support, but it also covers games that support 60 plus FPS that may require VRR, and we see many games that do that can go up to 80 or 90 FPS. But yeah, I will have this linked down below so you can check out the list for yourself. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which is an update on the Horizon lawsuit regarding Sony and Tencent. Being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle earlier this week, Sony Interactive Entertainment filed a lawsuit against Tencent for blatantly ripping off its award-winning video game franchise Horizon with Polaris Quest's upcoming game Light of Motorum. Following the lawsuit, Tencent has made some noticeable changes to the game's Steam page to look less like Sony's popular franchise. As pointed out by the Game Post, the Light of Motorum Steam page has been updated to lean less on the Horizon vibes, specifically a different selection of screenshots, new key art, a release window, and a rewritten game description have been added following the lawsuit. The screenshots that are now present on the page feature fewer of the mech animals and focus more on the environments. The key art, which originally put an Aloy look-alike front and center, now has a little penguin robot with less of the lush green Horizon Zero Dawn's key art is known for. Not much else has been updated about Sony's lawsuit against Tencent. However, the changes to Light of Motorum's Steam page does seem like a response to the accusations. So this is the latest update we have regarding the Sony Tencent lawsuit, and it does seem like, yeah, Tencent is trying to do anything they can to get out of this and I guess really distance this game from Horizon in any way they can. But I will continue to keep you guys updated. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is Take-Two Interactive boss Strauss Zelnick revealing that he is extremely confident that GTA 6 will not be delayed again. He says, quote, "My level of conviction is very, very high," end quote. Now, I would recommend taking this with a grain of salt because every time we've heard from Strauss Zelnick in regards to answering questions about a potential GTA 6 delay, he's always said the same thing or something very similar, that he's fairly certain it won't get delayed, and then it got delayed. So yeah, I just figured I would throw this out here because I don't know, you guys can take it for what it is. Do you believe what he's saying? Do you think that he's trying to let us know that GTA 6, the release date, is locked in? Or should we realistically expect maybe another delay? Could GTA 6 end up being a holiday 2026 game? I'm leaning more on the side of, you know, that's great that you're confident, but I would not be surprised if it got delayed again. But just a little update there. Moving on to the next topic, we're talking about a game that actually did get delayed. Being reported by Push Square, they say Pearl Abyss has announced it is delaying its ambitious RPG Crimson Desert to the first quarter of next year, meaning it's now set to arrive on PS5 between January and March of 2026. The open world game was slated to arrive later this year, and it sounds like a final release date was planned to be confirmed during next week's Gamescom opening night live showcase. However, the developer now needs more time to sort out its schedule coordination and collaborations with multiple partners for offline distribution, voiceovers, console certification, and other launch preparations. Crimson Desert is an incredibly hyped up game. People are very, very excited about this, but based off of what I'm seeing, people are not even remotely surprised that it ended up getting delayed. A lot of people were suspecting that this game was going to get pushed into 2026. But yeah, there's no denying that this game looks extremely ambitious and it's doing a lot of things. It looks very good, looks very promising. So I think people are okay with this game getting delayed as long as it means, you know, that it releases finished and hopefully lives up to its potential. But moving to the next topic, we have some leaks and new information about Resident Evil 9. Firstly, it has been confirmed that RE9 will be appearing at Gamescom next week. There's apparently going to be a new demo and I guess a new trailer and a bunch of new information. But we have Dusk Golem, who is a reliable insider and leaker regarding Resident Evil, giving us some, I would say, pretty interesting information. There's a report here from Insider Gaming where the title reads, Resident Evil Requiem will have Last of Us combat and vehicles. In a series of posts, Dusk Golem claimed that new lighting and shadow engines have been implemented, the AI system is unique and intelligent, and some open-level areas in Raccoon City will require a vehicle to traverse them. He says here, small handful of details I don't mind sharing is they've been working hard to achieve having good performance on open-level designed areas like Raccoon City, along with vehicle traversal around it. The combat with Leon has seen huge innovations. Honestly, some Last of Us Part 2 isms, but also its own innovations. There's been an effort to provide more environmental physics systems and interactivity for Grace's segments where she has to work with the environment more and balance light and darkness, and more I won't say, but sure, also more I don't know, but they have a lot more to reveal. And it's worth noting that he also made it clear that this game is apparently going to be Leon's send-off game. It's going to be his final main game, I guess you could say. And yeah, a lot of people, I think, still don't believe that Leon's going to be in this game. But again, Dusk Golem has proven to be very reliable. So it'll be interesting to see if they reveal Leon at Gamescom. But another leak coming from Dusk Golem has to do with the next batch of remakes for Resident Evil. Apparently, Dusk Golem is reporting that Resident Evil Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0 remakes are launching in 2027 and 2028, respectively. And this is, I would say, interesting because people have been wondering for quite some time, like, where Capcom was going to go next with these remakes. Is it going to be like Resident Evil 5? You know, people have been asking for a Code Veronica remake for many years now. And so it seems like the way it's going to go down is Resident Evil 9 2026, Resident Evil Code Veronica remake 2027, and Resident Evil 0 remake in 2028. Not a bad pipeline at all. Moving on to the next topic, though, we have a game that was just announced to be coming to PS5, but they're claiming that the Xbox port is currently under consideration. Being reported by WCCF Tech, today Inzoi Studio, an internal developer of Crafton, announced that their namesake game will be released on Sony's PlayStation 5 console in early 2026, while an Xbox port is still under consideration. We're excited to announce that Inzoi is scheduled to launch on PlayStation 5 in 2026. Our team is working hard to bring you the best possible experience on PS5. An Xbox release is also under consideration, but not yet confirmed. The official release date and additional details will be shared at a later time. Inzoi is a life simulation game that debuted on Steam Early Access on March 28th. The user score sits at a mixed on Steam, with only 47% of the 618 reviews left in the last month giving it a thumbs up. Some fans believe that Inzoi needs a lot more content and features before it can launch out of Early Access. So yeah, take that for what it is, I guess, but this is a game that I do remember when it was revealed had a fair amount of hype for it. And, you know, there we go. They're saying it's going to be coming out for PS5. I guess they're going to have to, you know, determine whether or not they want to make an Xbox version or not. But just wanted to let you guys know about that. Moving on, we're talking about Hellblade 1 finally getting enhanced for the PS5 with a free update coming from Push Square. They say the previously announced native PS5 version for Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is available now, alongside Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, ported over from Xbox and out today. Anyone who owns the original PS4 version gets a free upgrade, or you can buy the PS5 version for $30 US. A bundle containing the original game on PS5 alongside today's ported follow-up is also on offer for $70 US, which represents a small savings over buying the two games separately. But talking about Hellblade 2, we have another report here from Push Square where it says Hellblade 2 makes the jump from Xbox Series consoles to PS5, and according to a quick Ninja Theory-led trailer, This porting effort was a relatively easy and painless process for the developer. The only real challenge Ninja Theory encountered was enhancing Hellblade 2 for the PS5 Pro, as the version of Unreal Engine 5 it originally shipped the game on hadn't been updated for the upgraded console. It ported back features into the current build, allowing the game to utilize PSSR. Ultimately, the porting of Hellblade 2 to PlayStation 5 went very smoothly. This meant that we could spend more of our time working on the new content as well as performance mode, Gavin Costello concluded in the video. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 launches on August 12th, so came out yesterday on PS5, and has a new 60 FPS performance mode that highlights the cinematic spectacle that offers little else. That's what Push Square is saying because they gave it a review of 6 out of 10. But yeah, if you want to see a game that's really gonna, I guess, look very, very good, you know, and really see what Unreal Engine 5 can do on the PS5 Pro, Hellblade 2 is that. I did play the game and I enjoyed the story, but yeah, I really feel like this game was lacking very significantly in most other areas, including gameplay. But moving on to the next topic, we're hearing about a major update to Stalker 2, which was just announced for PS5 not that long ago, being reported by Push Square again. They say Stalker developer GSC Game World has reiterated its intentions to bring a long list of improvements to Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl before the year is out. It's highly likely that these enhancements will arrive around the same time as the PS5 version, which was announced near the beginning of July. Chief amongst these improvements is an upgrade to the game's engine. As the studio writes on Steam, our main mission in the near future is upgrading the game to Unreal Engine 5.5.4. This will bring new features and tools to make the zone an even better place, but more importantly, bringing the latest Unreal Engine 5 optimizations will lead to better stability and performance. Stalker 2 did suffer from some optimization issues around its launch in November of last year, both on PC and Xbox Series consoles. Many of the performance problems have been straightened out since, but it's obviously always good to hear about stability boosting engine upgrades. So I just wanted to let you guys know about this because, again, this was a title that was announced for PS5. A lot of people were wondering if it was ever going to make its way to PS5, and so I would not at all be surprised if this major update launches at the same time, as the article points out that the PS5 version does. But moving on to the final topic of the video, there was a game that was recently canceled, and this was a Microsoft-funded game, but there was a good chance it would have made its way to PS5, being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Another Xbox Game Studios game has been canceled. Contraband, the cooperative open-world heist game that was made in collaboration with Avalanche Studios, has been given the axe. In a statement from Avalanche Studios, the developer said it's no longer actively developing Contraband and will evaluate the project's future. Over the past several years, Avalanche Studios Group and Xbox Studios Publishing have collaborated on Contraband, reads the statement. Active development has now stopped while we evaluate the project's future. We're thankful for the excitement we've seen from the community since we announced it, and we'll give an update on what's next as soon as we can. So it is worth noting that they're framing it here as if there might be a potential future for this game. You know, you kind of read it as like maybe they didn't fully cancel it, but Microsoft just isn't funding it anymore and Microsoft isn't backing it. So there's a chance they could try to pitch it to another publisher and, you know, do something in that regard. And I'm sure that's kind of what they're hinting at here, that they will try to do that. And if it works out, they'll update us. If it doesn't, you know, they'll just have to let us know it's fully canceled. But very unfortunate what's been going on with Xbox Game Studios the past month or so. But there you go. That's going to wrap up the video. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the bell notification icon and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.